You need to stop being yourself because you are where you are in your life because you've been doing things that same way, that same comfortable way, staying right there. Woo! Welcome all to your space for everything empowerment. I am your host, Tariq Williams. You're the listener. Insert name here. You're ready to get empowered. So, I predicate this on being a space of a lot of different things here. Ultimately, empowerment, ultimately, a space where you can feel and come here to be able to understand you. Okay? So, let's get into this podcast episode a little bit. Stop being yourself. In this episode today, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the 3 pillars of We Are Vision of Hope. After we go over the 3 pillars of Vision of Hope, after we go over the 3 pillars of We Are Vision of Hope, from there, we are going to go into the topic at hand here, stop being yourself, and a couple stories after that to truly explain and really dive deeper into this theme, this category of stop being yourself. Now, I know that it sounds weird. I know that it sounds crazy. I'm asking you all to sit here for a little bit, gain some perspective, gain some insight, and ultimately learn. Now, when we talk about empowerment, we're talking about We Are Vision of Hope. When we talk about empowerment, we're talking about the Speaker Vision podcast. Let's go. Let's get it. Not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. So what are the 3 pillars of We Are Vision of Hope? You all see it all the time. You might not always recognize that you see it, but it's in the logo. You see it, the 3 words every single time. And it's not we, it's not our, it's not vision. It's not even of hope. The 3 pillars around the circle of We Are Vision of Hope. We're going to start with number 1. Mindset. Whether you believe you can or can't, either way, you're right. Understand it, believe it, breathe it in. Okay? Whether you believe you can or can't, either way, you're right. We've talked about this a few times on the podcast. Truly, it doesn't get much more clear than this. Your mindset is what's stopping you. You are what's stopping you because you don't actually believe in your ability. You don't actually believe you can get to the next level because you bring up the limiting beliefs. You bring up every single reason why you can't. And what you need to start doing is start giving yourself every single reason why you can, even if it's just one. And the one thing could be because you believe. See, mindset is truly everything. If you want to go to the NBA, if you want to do something great, you got to have the mindset to believe that you can do it and then commit to it. Because you could say that you believe in what you want to do, but yet you're not doing the things that people like you should be doing to get to where you want to be. So you want to be that person with all the followers, or you want to be that person with the dream job and the nice car, but yet you're not doing what that person would do. Therefore, your mindset's still holding you back because you could talk a lot about it, but you got to actually be about it. Have the mindset first. So you have that mindset. If you actually have the mindset of being great, you won't just talk about it. You'll be about it, and you keep making moves. Here we go. Mindset. Let's go. All right. So that's the mindset piece. Now we're going to skip over the second word here. We're going to go to health. Health is super important. We've been talking about this a lot on the social media platforms. We've been talking a lot about this on in podcast episodes. But understand this, your health needs to be a priority. We talk a lot about this in the Prioritize You workbook. Go to wearevisionofhope.com or the social medias to find the link there. But we talk a lot about this. Health. Health is wealth. What are we talking about here? Health is wealth. You have to take care of you. So, in order to do the different things you want to do or what have you, you got to take care of you. So, are you investing in your health? Are you, eating properly and whatever that looks like? Are you getting your exercise, going on walks, all these different things. But not only that, see, the thing about health is that it's not just about physical health, it's about your mental health. And that's going back to mindset a little bit, but mindset first, we're just talking about the drive and the attitudes there. But if your health is not in a place where you need to be, if your mental health isn't there, you got to think about some steps, some ways to take care of that. How are you going to help take care of somebody else's mental health if you're not taking care of your own? And then what does it look like for you to actually take care of your health? Think about it. Now, I'm not saying, oh, okay, Tariq said I need to invest in my health. And one of the questions he said earlier is, am I eating properly? I'm not saying that you only have to eat broccoli and celery for the rest of your life. That's not what I'm saying. I think if you're only eating broccoli and celery and there's no protein, whatever, like the balance is a thing when it comes to food. Um, when it comes to goals, it's a little bit different. However, we're not getting into that right now. I digress. The facts are the facts. You gotta take care of you. You got to check on your health, okay? Your physical health, your mental health, your overall health. And if you find that those things are lacking, then you got to invest the time, invest the energy, invest the money, whatever it looks like to take care of your health. We talked last week about non negotiables. Health is a non negotiable, mindset is a non negotiable to get where we want to get to. And finally, at the center of all this, in the middle of all of it all, is authenticity. Authenticity. Authenticity being the answer to really any resistance. That truth, the ability to speak your truth, the ability to understand more about who you are as an individual, the ability to tap into something greater, the ability to recognize your greatness, the ability to recognize your personality. We're recognizing our authentic selves, our authenticity, and we're not apologizing for who we are as people. Now, that doesn't mean be a jerk. Don't be a jerk. Don't break the law. Okay. But understand who you are as your personality, right? And love that person. Love that person. Once again, don't be a jerk, but understand what it means to be your authentic self. I think a lot about the people who I've connected with in different ways and the kindness and the truth that they have given to me in different moments in time when I was felt feeling down and out. Um, for example, I remember her name was Margie Durkin, one of the first people to ever come to my house that knew something about blindness. Okay. I knew nothing about blindness, but Margie Durkin came into my house and said, "Hey, Tariq, it's going to be okay." Gave me whatever tools and resources that I needed that moment in time. And at that point, I didn't know anybody. I hadn't connected with anybody who had ever met any other blind people. I didn't know what next looked like. I did not know what was possible. And Miss Margie Durkin was an amazing individual who just came in out of nowhere to my parents' house and just said, he's going to be okay. He's going to be great. And she sat down with me in the kitchen. She got to know me as an individual. She brought her authentic self to the table when none of us knew what next looked like, right? Her authentic, kind self to the table. So I'm telling you, what does it look like for you to tap into that? Who can you help? Who can you empower by tapping into your authentic self? What can you do being your authentic self? What does that look like for you to be the best version of you? So Tariq, you're lying. You clickbaited me, Tariq. You told me that this episode said, stop being yourself. Yes, that is exactly what the title of the episode is. That is exactly what the title of the episode is. See, authenticity is at the center of everything that we do. But the situation is, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, if you have some unknown things going on, if there's somewhere that you want to be in your life, it's not necessarily about stopping who you are to the core of you, but you need to stop being yourself, because understand this, you are where you are in your life because you've been doing things that same way, that same comfortable way, staying right there. That place where it's okay, that place where it's safe, that place where you feel good and being afraid of great, but it's okay here. It's safe here. I can stay here because, nobody else is expecting any more of me and this is comfortable. Okay. I'm staying here because I'm afraid of change. But yet you want something more in your life? You want something more in your life. See, there's a few reasons why you got to stop being yourself. This is number one. See, if you want change in your life, if you want something different for your life, if you want your dream to be a thing even when you're not sleeping, because right now your dream is a thing when you're sleeping. That's when it's a thing. Your dreams right now are dedicated to sleeping because you want to stay right where you are. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't start doing something different, you're going to stay there. So you got to start doing something different if you want to get something different. Oh, Tariq, I just need to be myself. No, because being yourself is why you're at where you're at right now. And listen, tell me what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And maybe where you are right now is cool. It sounds good. But the Speak Your Vision podcast is not just about speaking your vision. We can visualize our vision. We can speak our vision. But ultimately, it means nothing if we don't put action to it. See, I've been thinking a lot about what growth looks like for me. And I've embraced the fact that I do not know everything. I've embraced it. And I understand that. But if I'm going to embrace the fact that I don't know everything, if I'm going to embrace the fact of where I am right now, I still need to control what I can control. And that's learning. I've gotten a lot of really neat feedback, and here's some story time for you. I've gotten some neat feedback about the podcast and being able to communicate and being able to express myself in a way that's able to empower others. And it's definitely been a good driving force for me to be like, Tariq, like, you are doing the right thing. Tariq, this is your purpose. Tariq, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. However, where you're supposed to be is a trajectory moving forward. And that goes for all of us. And so how do people get better at playing basketball? They play more basketball. How do people get better at writing? They write more. How do people get better at math? They do more math. See, it's not rocket science or brain surgery. It's not brain science or rocket surgery. What, Trick? So it's neither of those things. See, oftentimes we overthink it. When ultimately all it is we got to stop being ourselves. We got to stop being ourselves. We're here where we are. We're here where we're at. Cool. But if we're not talking about upward mobility, if we're not talking about growth, then we're not talking about the Speak Your Vision podcast. We're not talking about me. We're not talking about you. So it's not about staying the same. So that's one part of the stop being yourself piece. I typically bring some of these stories back to my blindness because that was such a significant part of my life where I wasn't exactly sure what next was going to look like. I was unknown. Okay. And I think about the first few times where I crossed the street as a blind person when I didn't know. And I was like, yo, they really about to let me out here with cars, bro? they really about to we doing this? And I believed that it was not possible. I knew that it wasn't. See, a lot of times when I work with blind people and they've been working with me for a while, we have a lot of different conversations about, oh, well, people who aren't blind, people who are sighted, and they see the white key and they're like, oh, as a like, oh, I'm so sorry that you can't see. You can't do X, Y, and Z bars. You can't cross the street. You probably can't get a job. You probably can't be a professor. You probably can't be a lawyer. And so what you need to understand is that's not only sighted people that believe that, because a lot of blind people believe that. I believed that. I believed that I wasn't worthy of success. I believed that I wasn't worthy of love. I believed that I could not get to the next level of my life. I believed that I would never be good enough for a job. I believed. And I was also blind. So I had to stop being myself. I had to let go of these limiting beliefs. I had to recognize that I deserved more. I had to stop being the person who I was. I had to cut that out because more was out there for me. So we don't always realize the power that limiting beliefs have over us. And not only that, once we do that, we have to recognize that if we want more, we got to do more. And if you want less, keep doing what you're doing. And I'm not trying to say this to be rude. That's not the goal here. I care about what we've created here on this podcast. I care about the brand. I care about you. I care about you listening. There's more out there. The question is, are you going to answer the bell and do more? Because you're where you are now. And that's great. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but you are where you are, and that's great. And recognize the greatness that you've done, recognize the greatness that you've become, and recognize the greatness that you're going to be when you stop being yourself. Embrace your authentic self, but stop being this person who you are today so you could be who you're supposed to be tomorrow. Let's get it. Everyone, thank y'all so much for listening to the Speak Your Vision podcast. I am your host, Tariq Williams. This is your space once again for everything empowerment, mindset, health, authenticity. It was great to define all those things for you. Check out the Empower Your Life, Prioritize You workbook today. Check it out. Links everywhere. WeAreVisionOfHope.com for coaching and all great things. And what's happening here is we're growing every single day. Not only I am Vision of Hope, but you know what we're doing here. It's a we thing. We are Vision of Hope. Let's get it. Vision.